The eastern sky erupts in a blaze of color. Golden light spills over the horizon. It paints the Mesopotamian plains with hues of rose and amber. A new day begins. In the distance, a lone figure walks toward the rising sun. He is a traveler, weary from his journey. His name is Jacob. Jacob had fled his homeland. He sought refuge with his uncle, Laban. He carried with him the weight of his choices, the blessings and burdens of his past. Now he journeyed toward an uncertain future. He carried with him hope. A hope for peace, a hope for family, a hope for love. The land of Haran lay before him, a tapestry of golden fields and verdant pastures. Smoke rose from the tents of shepherds, a testament to the rhythms of life that continued, even as Jacob's world shifted beneath his feet. He adjusted the pack on his shoulders, a reminder of the long journey behind him and the uncertain path ahead. As the sun climbed higher, casting long shadows across the land, Jacob approached the outskirts of a bustling city. This was Haran, a crossroads of trade and culture, a melting pot of languages and traditions. He paused, a solitary figure amidst the throngs of people, his heart pounding with a mixture of apprehension and anticipation. For within those city walls, fate awaited him. Haran bustled with activity. Merchants hawked their wares in the marketplace. Donkeys brayed, laden with goods. The air hung heavy with the scent of spices and roasted meat. Jacob, a stranger in a strange land, navigated the crowded streets. He observed the people. Their brightly colored robes, woven with intricate patterns, spoke of ancient traditions. The women adorned themselves with jewelry, their laughter echoing through the bustling marketplace. He saw their weathered faces, etched with the harsh realities of life in this ancient land. He heard their stories whispered in languages he barely understood. Yet, amidst the unfamiliar sights and sounds, he felt a flicker of hope. He was a stranger, yes, but he was also a member of the human family, bound by the same joys and sorrows, the same dreams and fears. Jacob wore the traditional attire of a traveler from the south. His cloak, though dusty from the journey, marked him as a man of some means. He carried himself with a quiet dignity, his eyes scanning the crowd, searching for a familiar face. He longed for the comfort of kinship, for a connection in this sea of strangers. As he walked, he noticed a group of shepherds gathered around a well, their sheep bleating softly in the midday sun. He was drawn to their simple life, their connection to the land. Perhaps he thought he could find solace in their company, a brief respite from the loneliness that gnawed at him. With a deep breath, he approached the well, his heart quickening with a sense of anticipation, unaware that his destiny awaited him there. The well was the heart of the community. Women gathered there each day. They drew water for their families and flocks. Jacob watched them. He observed their customs. He noticed their strength and grace as they lowered their heavy clay jars into the deep well. He saw a young woman approach the well. Her beauty captivated him. She moved with an effortless grace. Her eyes sparkled with intelligence and kindness. A flock of sheep, their wool thick and white against the sun-drenched earth, trailed behind her. She was a vision of loveliness, a testament to the beauty that could bloom even in the harshest of landscapes. Her name was Rachel, and she was Laban's daughter. Her beauty was not just outward, her spirit shone with an inner light. Jacob felt drawn to her. He watched in awe as she expertly maneuvered the heavy stone covering the well, her movements fluid and strong. He stepped forward, compelled by a force he couldn't explain. "Let me help you with that," he offered, his voice a low rumble in the midday heat. Rachel turned, her eyes widening in surprise at the sight of the stranger. For a moment their eyes met, and a spark of recognition, of destiny passed between them. Rachel's gaze met Jacob's. Time seemed to stand still. The world around them faded. It was as if they were the only two souls in existence. In that instant, something profound shifted within Jacob. His heart, weary from his journey and burdened by his past, stirred with a new and unexpected emotion. He saw in Rachel's eyes a kindred spirit, a reflection of his own longing for love and belonging. A shy smile blossomed on her face, a glimmer of light in her dark eyes. "Thank you," she murmured, her voice soft as the desert breeze. "You are kind." Jacob, emboldened by her warmth, took hold of the heavy stone. His muscles, honed by years of shepherding, strained against the weight. With a final heave, he rolled the stone away, revealing the cool, refreshing depths of the well. As Rachel lowered her jar into the water, their fingers brushed. A jolt of electricity shot through Jacob, a current that seemed to connect them, heart to heart, soul to soul. He knew with an unshakable certainty that he had found something rare and precious at this desert well. He had found love. Section 5. The labors of love begin. Jacob learned that Rachel was his cousin. He was overjoyed. He told her about his journey. He spoke of his family. Rachel listened intently, her heart touched by his story, her admiration growing with each word he spoke. She saw in him a man of strength and integrity, a man worthy of her love. She invited him to meet her father, Laban. Laban welcomed Jacob into his home. He offered him food and shelter. Jacob was eager to prove his worth. He offered to work for Laban. Laban, impressed by Jacob's work ethic and sincerity, agreed. And so began Jacob's service to Laban. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Jacob labored tirelessly under the scorching sun, tending to Laban's sheep with care and devotion. He proved himself to be a skilled shepherd, his flocks thriving under his watchful eye. Yet, it was the thought of Rachel that spurred him on, the memory of her smile that lightened his burdens. Each evening as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, he would return to Laban's encampment, his heart filled with longing for a glimpse of his beloved. Section 6. A wedding and a deception. Jacob fell deeply in love with Rachel. He professed his love for her. "I will work 7 years for your father," he declared, "if you will become my wife." Rachel, her heart overflowing with love for this kind and honorable man, agreed. Laban, seeing an opportunity to secure a hard-working son-in-law, consented to the arrangement. 7 years it shall be, he declared, a cunning glint in his eye. And so, Jacob toiled for 7 long years, his love for Rachel fueling his every step. Finally, the long-awaited day arrived. The wedding feast was a joyous occasion. Music filled the air, and the scent of roasted lamb wafted on the breeze. Jacob, his heart overflowing with anticipation, waited for his bride to be presented to him. But Laban, driven by greed and a twisted sense of justice, had other plans. Under the cover of darkness, he substituted his elder daughter Leah for Rachel. Leah, plain and timid in comparison to her younger sister, was veiled and adorned as the bride. Jacob, blinded by love and the dim light of the wedding tent, did not notice the deception. He took Leah as his wife, believing her to be Rachel. It was not until the morning light crept across the land revealing the truth that Jacob realized the cruel trick that had been played upon him. His heart, filled with joy only moments before, was now shattered by betrayal and despair. Section 7. Leah's sorrow, Rachel's patience. Imagine Jacob's shock, imagine his anguish. He had been deceived by the very man he had served so faithfully. Laban, confronted with his deceit, justified his actions with a shrug and a litany of ancient customs. "It is not our way to give the younger daughter in marriage before the elder," he declared, his words ringing hollow in Jacob's ears. Leah, caught in the middle of her father's deception, was filled with a mixture of shame and hope. She loved Jacob, though she knew he did not love her in return. She clung to the hope that, in time, she might win his affection. Rachel, heartbroken and furious at her father's betrayal, watched as her sister became Jacob's wife. She pleaded with her father, her voice thick with tears, but Laban remained unmoved. "Be patient, my daughter," he said, his words offering little comfort. "Your time will come." And so began a complex and often painful family dynamic. Jacob, torn between his sense of duty towards Leah and his unwavering love for Rachel, found himself caught in a web of emotions. He loved Rachel with all his heart, yet he could not deny Leah's place in his life. Section 8. 7 years for Rachel. Jacob, determined to make Rachel his wife, confronted Laban. His voice shook with a mixture of anger and desperation. "I have fulfilled my end of the bargain," he declared. "Now give me Rachel to be my wife." Laban, recognizing the depth of Jacob's love for his daughter, and ever the shrewd negotiator, saw another opportunity. "Very well," he conceded, his voice smooth as silk. "You may marry Rachel also, but you must work for me another 7 years. And so Jacob, driven by the unwavering flame of his love for Rachel, agreed to Laban's terms. 7 more years he would labor, 7 more years of sweat and toil, all for the woman he loved. The years that followed were a tapestry of joy and sorrow, of love and loss. Leah, though unloved by Jacob in the way she desired, bore him sons, filling his household with the sounds of children's laughter. Rachel, her heart aching with each passing season, watched and waited, her faith in Jacob's love never wavering. Through it all, Jacob never lost sight of his promise to Rachel. He worked tirelessly, his love for her a beacon in the darkness, a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. He poured his heart and soul into his labors, his every thought, his every action, a testament to the depth of his devotion. Section 9. Love's Triumph and Trials. Finally, after 14 long years, Jacob's patience and perseverance were rewarded. Rachel, the woman who had captured his heart at the well so many years ago, became his wife. The celebration was joyous but bittersweet. The shadow of Laban's deception still lingered, a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the price of love. Their love story, however, was far from over. Life, as it often does, had its own plans, its own twists and turns. Years passed, and Rachel remained childless, her womb a barren land in a family blessed with children. Her pain was palpable, a constant ache in her heart. She cried out to God in her despair, her voice echoing the anguish of countless women throughout history who longed for the gift of motherhood. Leah, witnessing her sister's pain, felt a surge of empathy. She, who had been given the gift of children, but not the gift of Jacob's full love, understood Rachel's longing. And so, in a remarkable act of selflessness, she gave her handmaid, Zilpah, to Jacob as a wife, hoping that through her, Rachel might experience the joy of motherhood. Zilpah bore Jacob 2 sons, and Leah, ever eager to secure her place in Jacob's heart, followed suit, giving her own handmaid, Bilhah, to Jacob. And so, Jacob's family grew, his household a testament to the complexities of love, duty, and destiny. Section 10. Reflections on Faith and Destiny. Jacob's journey is a testament to the power of love and perseverance. He faced deception, heartbreak, and years of toil, yet his spirit remained unbroken. His love for Rachel never wavered, a beacon of hope guiding him through the darkest of times. His story reminds us that true love requires sacrifice, patience, and an unwavering belief in the promise of a brighter future. It speaks to the enduring strength of the human spirit, our capacity to overcome adversity and emerge from trials stronger and more resilient than before. But Jacob's story is also a testament to faith. Throughout his journey, he wrestled with God, questioning his purpose, grappling with the complexities of his destiny. He learned that faith is not a passive acceptance of fate, but an active engagement with the divine, a willingness to surrender to a plan greater than our own understanding. In the tapestry of Jacob's life, we see threads of our own experiences woven through the narrative. We see our own longing for love, our own struggles with faith, our own battles with adversity. His story reminds us that we are not alone in our journeys, that even in the midst of our most difficult trials, there is hope, there is grace, and there is a love that endures all things. Section 11. Trust in the unfolding plan. As we reflect on Jacob's journey, we are invited to consider our own paths. What challenges have we faced in our lives? What sacrifices have we made in the name of love? What lessons have we learned through our struggles? Jacob's story reminds us that life is a journey, filled with unexpected twists and turns. It is a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, love and loss, hope and despair. But through it all, there is a plan, a purpose, a destiny that unfolds before us, guiding us toward our ultimate destination. We may not always understand the path we are on, but we can trust in the one who guides our steps. We can choose to face our challenges with courage, to love with all our hearts, and to persevere even in the face of adversity. For it is in our struggles that we discover our strength, in our vulnerabilities that we find true connection, and in our surrender that we discover the boundless love and grace that await us. If you found this reflection on Jacob's journey insightful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more explorations of faith, history, and the human experience. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Let's continue the conversation together.